Hey guys, happy Wednesday to you. It's been about a week, more or less a day or so. I just wanted to get this vlog completed this week because I know people get upset if I go more than 7 or 8 days without a vlog. They think that there's something wrong with me, I'm cheating on my diets or whatever. Let's get into it, right? So I started out 240, 250. A lot of you guys have heard this real quick. So I'm just gonna go through it, right? So really fast, I'm gonna go through it for you guys that have already heard it. I used to weigh 240, 250. I lost a lot of weight on my own, quit drinking alcohol, quit smoking cigarettes. I got down to about 180, 190 pounds, and that's where I plateaued. Doctor called me one day, he said, you have diabetes, and put me on Mounjaro. Mounjaro has the side effect, when treating for diabetes, of weight loss, right? In its weight loss form, its main effect is weight loss. It's the same drug. It's just different names, right? Wegovy, Mounjaro, they're the same, basically, the same drug. So anyway, she put me on Mounjaro and I went from 180, 190 down to 100 and below 150 pounds. I actually got down to 147 pounds before coming off the Mounjaro, but I didn't come off it entirely because I was losing so much weight, partially though. Partially was that, but mostly it was because I was developing some pain in my foot, neuropathy, right? And I didn't understand. I mean, I had neuropathy before I started the Mounjaro, and it wasn't bad. I mean, that's why I went in to get my tests in the first place, because my foot had been tingling a little bit. And I've been on treatment for 3 or 4 months, and my blood sugars were getting low and everything was looking good. And then my neuropathy in my right foot just exploded, like overnight. I went from maybe some numbness and tingling every once in a while to my foot keeping me up at night. I was getting 2-3 hours of sleep at night for months. It was awful. The pain was intense. When I came off the drug, it lessened a little bit, but to this day, I still have issues. It's not causing me to wake up anymore. I'm obviously getting treatment for it. I went to a neurologist and he did everything he could for me. He's seen this before, this neuropathy in my foot. In my particular case, I got the neuropathy from a condition called treatment-induced neuropathy of diabetes. Now this happens when your A1C drops extremely fast, which mine did. Literally dropped, I mean, to the floor. I was 10.6 when I started. When I finished Mounjaro about 8 or 9 months ago, my A1C was 5.4. Last month, my A1C was 5.5, and I haven't taken any diabetes or weight loss medications since I quit the Mounjaro 8-9 months ago. So I'm maintaining my weight and my diabetes glucose blood control on my own through my diet and my exercise. And I say my diet because it's not a real diet, right? I just really watch what my portions are, right? And I avoid certain foods, obviously. Like I'm not going to eat a chocolate bar, although I'd love to. Snickers was my favorite back in the day. And I'm getting kind of hungry thinking about it. I might have to have a banana. But there are certain foods that you just shouldn't do anymore, especially if you look at food, you're going to gain weight like me. So that's out. I cut out diet sodas. They used to be one of my favorite. I cut them out because they just don't taste good anymore. A weird side effect of the Mounjaro. Has anybody else had any other weird side effects with the taste? I know there's been a couple comments in past videos. Let me know in the description below if you're on Mounjaro and your taste buds have changed, where you used to love something, now you can't stand it. So anyway, I came off the Mounjaro because of that foot problem and, the sleep problem. I wasn't getting much sleep at night. And I did mention that my neurologist has been treating my foot. Now I'm taking a drug for my foot. I'm not taking the Mounjaro anymore. And you know how I feel about prescription medications. I do not like to take them because I have not met a prescription medication on the market that doesn't have detrimental side effects, right? Now I know a lot of guys in my comments over the past videos have said, hey, Mounjaro is good for you. It's good for other stuff, right? It's proven to not cause cancer. It's proven to even prevent cancer, and it helps your liver function. It helps that, and it does this for you, right? It helps you think better and all kinds of stuff it does better for you. But I'm the kind of guy that every time the pharmaceutical company tells me that, I don't believe them because I've been on this planet for about 60 years. I've heard this before about other pharmaceuticals that they've pushed out on us, right? There was a pharmaceutical, what was it called? Hydrocodone, right? Non-addictive, right? It was treatment for pain. I don't know if you remember that. We kind of had deal with that stuff, right? There's a lot of people still going through a lot with that stuff. Believe me, I know. Everybody I know, I think, knows somebody that's had problems with that pharmaceutical medication. But if you go back in a time machine and you look at what they were saying about that, the pharmaceutical company, oh, it's all good, no problem, right? I don't trust pharmaceutical companies, and for good reason, right? And I don't trust people that endorse pharmaceutical companies. Like our entire media, basically. Our entire media, CNN, Fox, they all will take the advertising dollars if it comes to that. And now, there's certain stations that will speak them up, right? I think there's a little kickback going on there. But what do I know? I don't know anything. Who knows what's going on, really? I just know that I don't trust media anymore about anything after this last year, and I've discovered a lot of stuff. We're learning a lot of stuff, right? And I definitely don't trust the politicians. For you guys, I'm not going to make this political, trust me. So don't tune out because of that. Tune out because you hate the video. But the politicians this last week, when they were, did you watch any of it? When they were interviewing, where they were asking RFK questions, because he's going to be our next, health guy that's going to make us healthy again. It's going to make America healthy again if he passes the House and the Senate. But they were grilling him, right? These people were saying all kinds of nasty stuff to him. And I watched, and I'm watching these people, and I'm like, man, I wonder if he is just after the money. But then I went on to my real news sources, onto the internet, Rumble and YouTube, and I watched some independent guys, right, that do the news and discuss the narratives and stuff like that. And I went and I watched this guy. So I went and I watched this guy on YouTube. I'm not going to mention his name. There's a lot of them out there. You can find one. And everybody's really talking about it, about how people like our politicians are just so in bed with our pharmaceutical companies. The worst one was, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren. Trump calls her Pocahontas because she said she was Indian to get free college back in the day. Turns out she's not any Indian whatsoever, not even a small percentage. But she's paid off by the pharmaceuticals. This guy was showing evidence about how much money the pharmaceuticals companies have pumped into her campaign. It's millions and millions of dollars. And how? Tell me, you guys, how do you go from a salary of making $170, $180, $190, even $200,000 a year, and in 10, 20 years, you amass that into $200 million? How do you do it? How do you do it? All right, so like I said, I don't want to get it too political. I'm not going to go off the edge, but these kind of things really upset me. All right, I know. I said I wasn't going to get political, and I was getting really close to that. And I'm going to stop right now, but you get my frustration, right? So I'm watching this stuff on YouTube, and I'm getting it from independent people. So I'm learning stuff that the mainstream media is not telling me and the politicians aren't telling me. When they tell me stuff's good for me, they're not adding in the parts that are bad for me, right? I've had people on this very vlog say, Ben, don't worry about the Mounjaro. I don't know why you want to get off it so bad. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it helps other parts of your body, like your liver and your heart, and it's been proven in your digestive, well, maybe not your digestive system, but other parts of your body it's beneficial to, right? And I don't doubt that in the least bit. I'm the kind of guy that thinks every pharmaceutical product out on the market has beneficial effects and non-beneficial effects, and it's because we're all different people, right? We all can take the same drug and have different reactions to it, right? Some people take morphine and love it. I'm allergic to it, right? If I take morphine, I break out and I'm in pain, right? That's not good for me. So I'm allergic to morphine. That's the way that drug affects me. It's just weird. We're just different people. We're all different, and we all handle these drugs differently. Mounjaro, for I would say probably 95% of the population, they're going to have some side effects. Maybe some might not even have any side effects. They're going to have side effects, maybe mild to moderate, nothing too bad, right? But there are going to be other people that have terrible side effects. So I was watching one of these independent journalists today, and I saw the headline grab me. It said, Ozempic causing blindness in people, right? Not just Ozempic, GLP-1s, right? Well, Mounjaro is a GLP-1. So I was interested, so I went and watched it, and I'm like, my God, right? It's a side effect, right? I believe that it is a side effect. It's a rare side effect. How often does it happen, right? I was watching commercials with these pills. People take these pills, and it's supposed to make their eyelashes lusher. more lush, longer, and thicker, right? One of the side effects of that, death. Why would you do that, right? There's all kinds of drugs on the market like that. Side effect is death. People get plastic surgery all the time. One of the side effects of plastic surgery is death, right? Instead of learning to love your body, right, you're going to modify what God gave you. That's none of my business, and I'm getting off on a tangent, and I'm letting my personal stuff come out, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so this week has really got me thinking, man. God, you can't trust anybody. Mounjaro, the blindness thing, I believe is true. There's some cases out there, although it's like an ultra rare thing. I think aspirin could probably cause blindness in some people, the amount of people that this causes blindness in. But apparently what it does is it drops your sugar levels so fast, and that's what happened with my tendon in my foot. It drops your sugar levels so fast that it prevents oxygen and stuff, blood flow to the eyeball. It creates some inflammation in the ocular nerve. It creates a inflammation that stops the blood flow and oxygen from reaching the eye, and it basically slowly dies, and you go blind. That's terrible. I just heard about it today. Would it stop me had I known about this, right? No, it wouldn't have stopped me, I don't think. It would have made me look into it. How often does this happen? How many people has this happened to? Out of the millions of people that have taken this drug, how many occurrences are there? And then I would balance it, right? I would balance it. Am I going to live longer? I'm going to live longer because I was on Mounjaro. Absolutely. Would I have lived as long as I would have had I not gone on it? I don't think. Honestly, I don't think I would have. I think that I've added at least 5 to 10 years to my life because of the weight that I've lost, the weight that I'm maintaining, the fact that I'm not on the weight loss drug anymore, or on my diabetes medication anymore, the Mounjaro. I try to get off all the medications that I can. It's not just that one. I've come off 2 blood pressure medications while I've been on Mounjaro, 1 left, 1 to go. And I think I'm going to get the approval for that in 3 months, 2 months when I go back for my new blood work, my new A1C. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted to direct your attention to that headline and to the politicians that are out there and questioning the RFK for our Health and Human Services guy that's going to be directing America's health, the directions of our health. It's unbelievable. These politicians just exposing themselves being paid off. Crazy. Anyway, I was talking about how much weight I've lost and how I've been maintaining. Now that I'm in the maintenance phase, I'm off the medication. I'm just trying to do it through what I eat and, my exercise, which, all things being equal, I'm going to be honest with you, haven't been the 3 days a week regime, the hour a walk thing that I've wanted it to be because it's been super cold here. It's Oklahoma and it's been below 30. In fact, I think it's 29 today. I'm not going outside in that. And no, I'm not going to buy anything for treadmills or anything. I've been through that already. I'm 60 years old. I know me, right? I'll buy a treadmill. I'll use it for a week. It'll sit in there and get dusty. Then about 5 years from now, I'll try to sell it at a garage sale. Try to recoup some of my money for $50, and the best offer I'll get is 10. That's how it works with me and exercise equipment, and that's why I won't get any. So instead, I've been going out to my shop and just keeping active and walking around and getting my steps in that way, but without the regulated walk. I do need to get back on that because Chuck, my dog, is missing out on that. He wants to get back on the walks with me, but it's just too cold. Hopefully next week it warms up, starts warming up. Hopefully. All right, you guys. So last week, my blood glucose was, let me look. Last week it was 117, my blood glucose. And what I do is I take it once a day now and I average it over the course of the week. Sometimes I take it in the morning, sometimes at noon, sometimes at night. And then I just throw all those numbers into a calculator and I divide it by 7. And then that'll give me my weekly average of my diabetes numbers. Last week I was at 117. This week I'm slightly elevated at 120. That's still pretty good for me considering that when I first started this, I was at 475 on my blood glucose level. And now I'm maintaining through diet and exercise at 120. Not bad. I'm pretty proud of myself and pretty happy with my doctor and my eating habits and all that good stuff. So my weight last week was 161.6. Now, I'm trying to maintain my weight between 155 and 165, right? So 161.6 is just over the middle mark, kind of closer to, hey, you need to start watching what you're eating and stuff like that, but not quite, right? Still pretty relaxed at 161.6. If I get on these scales today, I'm at 165, that's going to irritate me, because then I really have to start watching what I eat and start walking more for sure, because that's the top of my thing, right? I need to maintain between 155 and 165. I'd like to be at about 160. So last week, like I said, was 161.6. This week, I think I might have gained some weight, honestly. Been bad, like I said, not exercising like I should. I had a couple more, not more portions, just slightly larger portions this week. And I know I'm not going to fall back into old habits. Trust me, I'm not going to do it. It's just that some of these meals I haven't had in a while and I love them. Anyway, guys, let's check it out. Last week, 161.6. This week, and if you've got the drum roll going in your head, I'd appreciate it. 161.6 last week. All right. 163 this week. Still doing fine. I'm between 155 and 165. I'm still maintaining my goal weight. I'm still fine. But this is in the back of my head now, way back here. Not way back there. Actually, it's in the front of my head. 163 is 2 pounds away from my upper limit. You hear me? So, being the guy that I am and not wanting to go back into the old way that I used to be, because I remember how I used to feel. Tired all the time, run down, non-energetic at all, unhappy, miserable, and moody. Now I'm happy, right? And I want to stay this way. 163, it doesn't concern me. It just tells me, Ben, remember that extra piece that you had because you haven't had that meal in a while? That's off the table now, buddy, until you get back down closer to 160. Anyway, you guys, that's my update for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Homework for this week. Pick somebody like a politician and find out if they've embezzled any money. Look into our politicians. Man, that Elon Musk dude's covering some really crazy crap. See you next week.